Just to give you an update, Tommy Novak did not skate this morning. That's part of his planned recovery process. The other guys skated this morning.
First starting goaltender tonight?
Ned will play tonight.
You made a comment recently with regards to Tristan about how you thought his handles have been improved. Was that anything that's been stressed to him throughout the season, even anything he's been ordered to work on when he was in Wilkes? Just what all went into, or I guess, what's the focus there with regards to him?
Well, I don't think it's anything that we don't work on all the time. It's in today's game with how aggressive teams forecheck and how aggressive defensemen pinch the walls. A goaltender's ability to handle the puck is an extremely valuable asset. It helps with breakouts. It makes us much more efficient with our ability to exit our zone. And when those handles and those exchanges are clean with our defensemen, it just gives us that much more of an opportunity to establish a game we want to play. And so, we have two guys in Jars and Ned that is one of the strengths of both of their games. Obviously, some nights it's better than others. I just think that's the human aspect of it. But, since Jars has been back, my observation has been is for the most part, his handles have been pretty clean.
Just a quick follow-up. As far as the exchanges go, is that strictly just the goaltenders have to focus on it?
No, that's a tactical aspect of our breakout scheme, and we work on that all the time. There's certain vocabulary that we use. But between our defensemen, our low forward, those exchanges have to be communicated, and they got to be communicated in a timely fashion, and then we've got to execute on that. And so that's something that is a collective effort on everybody's part.
Mike, what can Kolyachonok improve, or what would you like to see from him to continue progressing?
I just think simplifying the game, taking what the game gives him, focusing on defending hard, and being more selective on when he jumps into the offense, understanding situational play. Is he early in a shift? Is he late in a shift? Do we have a lead? Are we down? All of those things affect decision making. It's just an understanding of how to manage the game. And and Vlad's a young player, and he's learning that process. So those would be some of the areas that we talk to him a lot about.
I know obviously everyone wants to play, and Ned, you always talk about how he's such a fierce competitor, but just what have you seen from him in terms of the teammate that he is, and as he's been just in practices, as he's kind of waiting to get back in the net like he is tonight? Yeah,
he's a great teammate. He understands it. He's a good pro. He controls what he can. He keeps himself ready. The reality is with the amount of games we've just played and that we have moving forward, it requires us to get both of those guys involved. So, when we make these types of decisions, we're thinking in terms of, helping the team win the game right in front of us, but also there's a little bit of big picture decision making also. And how do we set both of these guys up for success so when they do go in the net, they have the ability to give us a chance to win. Ultimately, if we can set them up for success, it's going to help the Penguins have success. So, that's part of the decision-making process. And but Ned, as far as how he handles it, he's just a great pro. He's a good teammate. Him and Jars have a great relationship. I think they support one another, in an authentic way. It's it's great to watch from my standpoint.
Sully, can you talk a little bit about the Blue Jackets tonight? Obviously, they're struggling to score goals a little bit right now, but they have 5 players on their team with 20 or more. And can you maybe elaborate a little bit on the year that Zach Werenski's having?
Sure. They generate a lot of offense from their defense. If I'm not mistaken, I think they might be second in the league with goals scored by their defensemen. And Zach's a big part of that. I had the privilege to coach Zach at the Four Nations tournament. He's a difference maker as far as a defenseman with the way he drives offense. He's a great athlete first and foremost. His size, his strength, his skating ability. He's a one-man breakout. He can shake a forecheck by wheeling the net. And those are some of his strengths. He's in the offense all night long. He's a guy when you play against him, you've got to pay attention when he's on the ice. You got to be aware of where he is. You got to try to make it hard on him. He plays close to 27 minutes a night. So he's a guy that can handle minutes. You know, he's one of the elite defensemen in the league right now. He's having a great year for them.
Would you be more likely to dump the puck in his corner when you got a guy like that, and maybe force him a little bit more?
Well, I think I don't know that we go out of our way to just dump the puck in his corner. We have to take what the game gives us out there, and we're going to try to dictate the terms as we always talk about and play in the game or establish the game that we want to play. What I will say is that whenever you play elite defensemen like that play a lot of minutes, it's important that we make them difficult minutes. We've got to make him earn his ice. We've got to finish checks. We've got to come off on the defensive side. Whenever a defenseman has to go from a dead stop to get in the rush, it makes it a whole lot more difficult, as opposed to letting him keep his speed and making a play and then just jumping into the play. So that's an important aspect of being hard to play against. It's also an important aspect when you play against elite players like Zach that you have to make it hard minutes when you have the opportunity to. I know when we play teams that they're having that very same conversation with a couple of our guys that are on our back end.